As you know, I arrived in Singapore 5 years ago, in September 2018. It has been a very interesting experience with all the ups and downs of the effects of the pandemic. But when we arrived here, we had a very specific program to reinforce the bilateral links between Peru and Singapore through very important mechanisms. One of that was the CPTPP. The other was the Pacific Alliance. We were involved in negotiations with Singapore to finally conclude the agreement and to sign the agreement. It was a very prolonged and difficult negotiation, but finally we were able to, in spite of the effects of the pandemic, even there were a lot of virtual negotiating sessions. Finally, we were able to sign the Pacific Alliance agreement with Singapore in February 2022. So 3 years and a half after the beginning of my tenure here in Singapore. And apart from that, Peru has decided to join DIPA. That was one of the main goals that I had when I arrived here in Singapore. And finally, my country was completely persuaded about the benefits to join this very important partnership in the digital realm. And now Peru is already presented its official request to join DIPA, and the state parties of this agreement are assessing the Peruvian request, and we hope that perhaps we are going to join DIPA by 2024. That is our desire. But in general terms, to make Peru more known to Singaporeans, we have organized a lot of cultural events all along these 5 years, even on a virtual setting. We have organized more than 7 film festivals. We organized photographic exhibition of the 12 Peruvian sites that are registered in the World Heritage List of UNESCO. That was in the Botanic Gardens in 2021 to celebrate the bicentennial of the Peruvian independence. I'm going to be in touch with Asian countries in Peru because I am going to assume a new position. Mm-hmm. I am going to be the chair of the senior official meetings of APEC. APEC is going to take place in my country next year. Mm-hmm. We have to organize more than 100 meetings, like something similar to the G20 that was organized by India this year. Mm-hmm. So 20 countries are members of G20, 21 economies are members of APEC, including Singapore. And the position that I am going to assume is to propitiate a common ground for consensus, because all the decisions in APEC has to be made by consensus, all of them. So it's going to be a challenging job, very challenging, but very stimulating at the same time. Mm. And this is going to allow me to continue being in touch with Asian countries, because a lot of countries here in Southeast Asia are member economies of APEC. Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Brunei, Vietnam, and the most important countries in Northeast Asia too: Japan, Korea, and China, Australia, New Zealand, Russia, United States, Mexico, Chile, Peru, Papua New Guinea. So this Asia Pacific community is going to meet in Peru next year. So it's going to be a very good opportunity for my country to showcase the advancements of Peru in the last few years, and to reinforce the links of my country with Asian countries in particular. Before the pandemic, it was a very important increase of Singaporean visits to my country. In 2016, 2017, I remember that the number of Singaporeans that visited my country was approximately 2,000. It was not a lot, but in 2019 it increased to 3,000. So in only 2 years, so an increase of almost 30%. So the governmental entity that is in charge of the promotion of tourism in my country, from Peru, was very interested in developing a lot of events here in Singapore to reinforce this trend. But unfortunately, in 2020 the pandemic came, so almost any tourist Singaporean was able, it was very difficult to visit Peru. And we are now renewing our efforts to promote visits from Singaporeans, for Singaporeans to my country. It's not easy. It's not easy because the pandemic has had some effects in terms of tourism. But this trend has been registered again. No, we are departing from a very low base. I think 800 Singaporean tourists visited my country last year. But apparently there is a very important increase and an increased interest in visiting my country. I think the exhibition in Gardens by the Bay can contribute to this goal, because one of the most important gems of my country in terms of tourism is Machu Picchu. And it's not only the most important gem in Peru, but in my opinion is one of the most important touristic attractions in South America. I have developed very good relations with my colleagues. I think that it's extremely important for an ambassador to establish the largest social network possible, not only for the benefit of his or her own country, but to be able to enjoy life.
Yeah.
That's very important too.
Yeah.
And I would like to tell my colleagues that Singapore is a magnificent diplomatic posting, that they took advantage of the privilege of living and working in Singapore. No, there is a lot of things that the respective countries can make here in Singapore to promote the interests of their respective countries. And I think that the diplomatic corps is a very united corps. No, we celebrate meetings with, well, I don't know, very frequently. No, we are very close together, and I think that is very important for my colleagues to notice all the opportunities, not only in terms of business and trade and investment, but in terms of cultural promotion, gastronomic promotion, I don't know, even social promotion that Singapore offers, here in Southeast Asia.